Alright everyone, so before we get started, I just want to thank Josh Thoughts for being the channel's first supporter on Patreon. Josh has a really great One Marvelous Scene video on Ant-Man, so if you'd like to check that out, I'm going to leave a link in the description and at the end of the video. I really think that this channel has a lot of potential, so I'm more than happy to give him a shout out. Plus, I really appreciate the support. Alright, now let's get into the video. If you're anything like me, you've probably played your fair share of Spider-Man games. And having played a lot of Spider-Man games, I've noticed something that a lot of them have in common. And it's even one of the things I see asked about online more often than anything else, especially after the newest Spider-Man PS4 game came out. It's this one odd-shaped building that seems to show up in almost every Spider-Man game. It first showed up in Spider-Man 2000, and most recently it showed up in Spider-Man PS4. This building has existed alongside Spider-Man games for almost 20 years now. But what a lot of people don't know is that this building actually exists in real-life New York. You can even see it in the background of this scene from Spider-Man 3. I grew up playing Spider-Man games all the time, and as an adult, I still find myself fascinated by them. It's always been really neat to see this one little building brought back time after time, year after year, seeing it reimagined and recreated as the technology to create these virtual worlds evolves. As a kid, spotting it in Spider-Man 3 was really exciting because I felt like I had been there before. 3 times in 3 different games, actually. I didn't even know this building existed in real life, so seeing it in a movie just blew my little 10-year-old mind. And that wasn't even the first time it would get referenced in a Spider-Man movie either, because it's actually on the cover of the Spider-Man Homecoming Blu-ray. To be honest, I've never actually been to New York City, but through these games, I've learned to recognize a lot of different landmarks and locations, with Spider-Man PS4 being the most evolved example of this yet. That game features more New York City landmarks than ever before, enough to the point that this even happened. Since Spider-Man PlayStation 4 came out, I've seen a lot of people commenting about this building. A lot of them wondering if its presence is unique to Spider-Man media, or if it's a reference to its appearance in other games. Because of this, I decided to make a video just talking about that building and appreciating its history. The building exists in real-life Midtown Manhattan at 550 Madison Avenue. The 37-story building was designed by Philip Johnson, one of the most well-known architects in the world at the time. Construction on the building began in 1980 and finished in 1984. Initial reactions to the building were mixed, with some loving the postmodern design of the building and others having a less than favorable opinion of the building, with many calling it a Chippendale, referencing a popular style of bookshelves or dresser drawers from the era. But as time went on, opinions changed, and the building actually started to influence the designs of other buildings in New York City. From 1984 to 1992, the building was known as the AT&T building, until it was sold to Sony, at which point it became known as Sony Tower or Sony Plaza, depending on who you talk to. From 1992 to 2016, this building was home to the Sony Corporation of America, where it housed everything from Sony's music division to their entertainment division. So much stuff went on here. People came here to work on music, video games, movies, and so much more. It's in this very building where meetings were held and plans were made for numerous Spider-Man games and movies throughout the years, and I think it's for that exact reason that it shows up in so many of them. I mean, think about it. How many game developers had to come to this building to talk with Sony about the video games they were making involving Spider-Man, or to license them out to PlayStation? The building used to even have an arcade on the ground floor, as well as a giant inflatable Spider-Man to match. Sony Tower also used to be home to the Sony Wonder Technology Lab, which was a 4-story interactive museum showcasing various brands and tech from Sony, featuring everything from interactive music mixing tables to motion capture demos, a robot zone, and even an interactive production studio. But unfortunately, the Wonder Lab closed in January 2016 after it was announced that Sony would be selling the building to the Saudi Arabian conglomerate, the Oleon Group. Ever since then, the building's been known as 550 Madison Avenue, but the new owners haven't exactly been the best neighbors to the citizens of New York City. Back in 2017, the new owners of the building announced plans to demolish a majority of the ground floor, as well as remodeling parts of the exterior with glass curtains, effectively walling off the public from the building. Almost immediately, architects, city historians, and the general public were outraged and began protesting the proposed changes. But by early 2018, the Olyong Group had already begun demolition of the ground floor of the building, including the glass arcade that was once guarded by the giant Spider-Man from earlier. Rest in peace, giant Spider-Man. But fortunately, by July of 2018, after months and months of protests, petitions, and public outcry, the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission finally declared the building's exterior to be a recognized city landmark, putting an immediate halt to all future changes to the exterior of the building, but still leaving the Olyong Group to do with the interior as they pleased, putting an immediate halt to any future changes to the exterior of the building, but also still leaving the Olyong Group to do with the interior as they please, resulting in a compromise that somewhat appeases both parties. So there you have it. If you've ever wondered why this building shows up in Spider-Man games so often, then I hope I've answered your question. I'd like to shout out MicSmasher for helping me find out some of this info. If you're interested, you can check out a link to his channel in the description down below. And while I'm at it, on the way out of this video, I want to give some quick shoutouts to a couple of other content creators as well. ProjectRE is a planned overhaul of Spider-Man 2 for GameCube on the Dolphin emulator. It'll feature upscaled textures, modern resolutions, as well as additional costumes for Spider-Man in-game. I've had the privilege of early access to a few finished assets from the game, and I'm really impressed by it. These suits look amazing, and the world of Spider-Man 2 looks so familiar but so new at the same time. I'm just so excited to play this mod once it's finished. You can follow ProjectRE on Twitter. I'll put a link in the description down below. The next person I want to shout out is Krystal Gamer. Krystal is the one who made the custom texture loader for Spider-Man 2000. And that's basically what allowed all of the mods and new costumes that we have in the game today. I feel like his channel doesn't get nearly as much love as it should, especially considering that sometimes he does live streams showing off the texture loader or modifying different games. Plus he's kind of a world-renowned rude master. If you're into modding, you owe it to yourself to give his channel a look. The next person I want to shout out is MysticGaming. I was supposed to be finished with my end of a collab with them this month, but I got so backed up by all my other projects that it's going to be just a little bit longer before it's finished. But for now, you should really check out their Batman Begins video. It's a really solid watch and I really enjoyed it. And the last person I think you should check out is AlterBrap04. AlterBrap has been a part of my community for a minute now, and he's brought a lot of character to it. He's got a channel of his own, and to be honest, I think he has a lot of potential. This kid might make something that'll get big one day, so you should be an early adopter and go check out his channel. Just give the kid a chance, he might surprise you one day. And finally, there's actually one more person I'd like to give a shout out to, and his name is Rover. Rover has been working on an overhaul of Mario Kart DS called Revo Kart that adds in all sorts of new characters and new tracks, as well as new music and items. You can check out more about his mod on his channel in the description down below as well. And I just want to thank everyone else for being a part of this community, especially if you've sat through the video this long. Thank you for your kind words and your encouragement. It really helps keep me going. I'd like to thank my Patreon, Josh, and my Ko-fi donators for helping make what I do possible. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out. If you'd like to see even more Super Swim Team 7 content, check out my second channel here. Sometimes I live stream stuff there or on my Twitch channel. If you want to know when I stream, you can always follow me on Twitter and join my Discord in the descriptions down below. And lastly, don't forget to ring the bell and turn on post notifications across platforms. That way you don't miss out on new videos or streams. So all that being said, I've been Swim Team Captain 7, and this has been Super Swim Team 7, signing off.